Good afternoon, students. Today I begin with the last paragraph of the poem of the elementary school classroom in a slum, written by Stephen Spender. And I need to tell you one important thing which I think I haven't told you. The rhyming scheme of the poem is in free verse. There's no rhyming scheme. The lines you can see are bigger or shorter depending upon the requirement of the poet. So it is in free verse. Alright, so till now we have seen the poet has been very sarcastic towards people who did not help the poor people, and he has successfully tried to strike a picture for all those students who are slogging in the slum, all those children who are slogging in that classroom to study. Maybe they want to study, maybe they want to excel in life, but there are no ways and means for which they can do so. So, in the last paragraph, he has been a little aggressive, saying that he requests the concerned authorities to give the required resources to these people so that they can also blossom, so that they can also flourish in their future. So, that's what I'm going to read and explain it to you. Whatever we have done in the previous 3 days, please make sure that you know it, because it is a very important poem. And if you see the last 5 years papers, one question from RTC, that is reference to context was always there from this poem, and a 4-mark question which I always see from this poem. It is one of those important poems because there is a lot to ask. Every line can fetch a question. So be very careful, attentive, and this is the last segment of the poem. Be attentive and listen to me. I would like to read the paragraph. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and their tongues run naked into the books, the white and green leaves open. History is theirs whose language is the sun. Now students, I need to tell you that till now the poet was talking about those children who live and die in that squalor, live and die in that filth. Now he says that elementary school classroom is a very strange and silent place unless a governor, inspector, visitor. That means till the time all these people, that is a governor or inspector, goes for inspecting that place, it is into that darkness and there's no activity that happens in that area, that class. It is thoroughly dependent upon people who are donating it. Unless and until they go and walk into that place, no one is interested to teach or maybe study there. So it comes to life, it comes to spring only when an inspector or visitor goes in and sees it. This map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Now this map becomes their window means that map is there in the classroom, obviously that shows them the bounties, the beauties of nature, and it also shows the political boundaries, but their window is ultimately their map. Okay, and that window only shows them dirt and filth. It also means that window and that door captivates them in that gory and dingy slum. They have no opportunities, they have no resources through which they can expand and explore. So hence that is the end of the world for them. The window that shows them only the filth on the street, the window that shows them only the slag heap on the street, binds them together, and hence they have no resources to explore and maybe expand, to make a different living, to broaden their horizon. There is no scope for them. That shut upon their life like catacombs. Catacombs were underground cemeteries, children, where dead bodies were cremated. So it is said the slums are just like catacombs that have shut upon their life. That means there is no way of empowering them. There is no way of advancing them. They cannot study. They have no opportunities. They have no way to come out of it. That means as I have told you before also, the gory and horrendous slum lurks like death on their life. Hence they have, discarded them from all the opportunities and resources that a person could avail in their life. I hope I'm clear. Their life have been segregated from the resources, from the opportunities that anybody otherwise would have got. So they are not able to explore, expand, or maybe see or look beyond those dirty, filthy slums. Now there comes a plead, or you can say a request by the poet, and here comes a change in the plot also. Break, oh break open till they break the town. The poet urges the people, the bureaucrats, the politicians, and all the lawmakers to please break the chain, break the shackles that are binding them and not allowing them to grow in their life, and show the children to green fields and make their world. And all these children should be given a chance to explore the green fields, the greenery, nature, and all the beautiful things that God has created in His own world, and make their world run azure on gold fields. And let these children run freely under the deep blue sky. Azure is blue, a deep blue color, and let them run on the sands of let them run freely on the sand under the deep blue sky, and let their tongues run naked into the book. That means let them explore the magic of knowledge. Let their tongues run naked into the books means let them explore the magic of knowledge. Let them read more and more books. Let them be free from all the foundations and shackles, and let them all explore the magic of the world which the ultimate creator has made for all of us. Run naked in the book, that means they should be able to read, they should be able to comprehend more and more. The white and the green leaves open. White here refers to the books, green here refers to the greenery, the nature. So the poet urges the people that let us free them from all the foundations, from all the shackles, and let them read, let them comprehend, and whatever greenery is there, whatever beautiful nature, picturesque valley, mountain is there, let them all explore it to their own fantasy, to their glory. And history is theirs, whose language is the sun. It is said that people who had the guts, people who had the audacity to explore and experiment, these people were able to write their names with golden letter in the history of our ages. All those people who have the guts, the courage to explore and expand beyond the horizon, to explore and expand their own credibility and potential, only those people have outshined others and has made it large. So it's a genuine plea by the poet to all the people around, to the lawmakers, that we all need to come together and give these children their world, the actual world created by the Almighty for all of us. We all need to witness the perks and perquisites given by Him, and let them get the benefit of reading, let them get the benefit of exploring the Mother Nature, and moreover, let us not bind them in the shackles of the slum, and let them be free from the mind, from the body, to do whatever they want to and enjoy the basic rights of childhood, that is innocence, that is knowledge, and education can turn the stride upside down. They would get the power, they would get the liberty to write their own creation with golden letters in the history of times. Students, I hope you have understood the fourth paragraph, because it's like little, I know it's little tricky, but then quick recap. For the past 10 minutes I've been speaking about it, so quickly I'll tell you again in 1 or 2 minutes, so that it's like it helps to brush up things what you read. So the poet pleads the governor, the inspector, the visitor, that these elementary school classrooms only comes to spring, only comes to life when any one of you go and sees it. Otherwise it's all very very silent, and no actual teaching is happening there till the time an inspector or a visitor goes in and sees. Then this map becomes the window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacomb. That line means the map which is there in the classroom obviously doesn't have any head and tail to it, because they don't understand the political boundaries, they don't understand the nature's bounties. The beautiful valley, mountain, plateau, plain has no head and tail for them because they haven't seen it ever. For them, their window through the classroom that shows the dingy slum, the squalor, the dirt on the street is what they see. And these things have captured them, these things have bounded them of all the opportunities. They have no opportunities, they don't have any source to grow in their life. There is no resource given to them, there is no opportunity given to them so that they can explore and go beyond it. That shut upon their life like catacomb. All these slums are just like cemeteries where we bury the dead bodies. Just like we bury the dead bodies and there is no life to it, similarly the slums have buried these children's future in it. The slums have taken away the future of these children. There is no scope of growing, there is no scope of enhancing their skill or talent. So that's what the poet is pleading people. He here changes the plot of the poem. Till now he was complaining, now he requests the lawmakers, the bureaucrats, the politicians to please look into the matter and break the shackles of these slums, break the chain, the shackles which is captivating them, binding these children who are deprived of the basic right to education. He also says that let us show them the green fields and make their world run azure. Let them run freely under the deep blue sky. Let them explore the magic of sand on which they are running, and let them run their tongues naked into the books. That means let them read anything they want to. Let them read and comprehend. Let them understand the magic of knowledge. And when we give them this world to explore, there'll be no end to their creativity. They would be able to make magic out of it. So let us give them the freedom, the liberty to run freely, to read whatever they want to, and get the magic of knowledge in their life. He also says that let them run through the white and green. White refers to the books and green refers to the mother nature. Let us give them the power to explore the world of books and also to run freely under mother nature, so that they can explore the real bounties created by the Almighty in his own beautiful world, which is for one and all. So hence the poet urges the lawmakers to do so, and he also beautifully writes that only those who have the power to think beyond the obstacles, only those who have the power to go beyond their horizon, they make a name for themselves, and hence their name is written with golden letters in the history of the times. People who have the courage, people who have the audacity to think beyond, to explore what they have, and even to go beyond their own inhibitions and limitations. Only those people can make a name for themselves which is read by all. Their name will be written with golden letters in the history, and generations will keep reading about his achievements, about his power of thinking. With this, I have come to the end of the fourth paragraph, and I hope this was clear to you. So this paragraph I have already taught and I have explained it to you. The meaning: catacomb means cemetery, which I have told you. Azure means blue, deep blue thing, sky. And this is the summary. Let's read it. The elementary school in the slum exists for namesake. The infrastructure is poor with hardly any serious teaching. The school springs into activity only when a governor or inspector or a visitor comes on round. The administrative machinery of the school also gears up at that time. Then the map comes becomes their window from where they can see the world beyond their slums. Since they are confined to the slum, these sights and glimpses are shut upon them as they are deprived of all the opportunities and means. Their lives are shut up in the cemeteries of these slums where they slither and slog to make their ends meet. The poet hopes that these children will break free from their morbid life, from the chains of the slum. He appeals to those in power to liberate these children from the miserable slum and enable them to breathe in with the free, fresh, beautiful and healthy environment away from the foggy slums. They should be able to bask in the open green fields and let them run free on the golden sands. Their world should not be confined to the horrendous and gory slums. The poet visualizes freedom for these children. He wants a carefree life where they get economic and social justice, where they have the right to be happy. These slum children should be able to enjoy the fundamental right of education, otherwise their life will be miserable. They should be able to learn not from the books alone but from the world, the nature around them. The poet ends on a note of positivity and wants opportunities to be available to these children. Now this is very nice and beautiful. The poet who strive for knowledge are the ones, the people who strive for knowledge are the ones who create history. The ones who are let free are the ones who will create history. People who outshine others will glow like the sun. Who break free from the constraints of their restricted life are the ones who create history. Now this is the literary device. Metaphora, books and nature are expressed in the form of white and green, clear. Anaphora, use of repeated words in two consecutive lines, run azure, run naked. So wherever you are using two words in two different fashion, consecutively in two lines, that's anaphora, and metaphor that I have been telling you on and off. Students, since this poem is very important, if I keep the reference to context in mind, so hence I have discussed two RTCs here which have been a part of 2016 and 2014's paper. So the first one is, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures pointed with the, I think it is painted with the fog, a narrow street sealed in with the lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes and star of birds. Now the first question is, who are the children referred to here? Quite clear, children referred to here are the slum children, the poor children living in the slum. Which is their world? Their world comprises of the dull and unpleasant classroom and its windows amongst the dirty surroundings of the slum. Clear. Next, how is their life different from that of the other children? The children of the slum are emaciated and poverty stricken as against the other children who are healthy and have all the comforts and luxuries of life. The life of the slum children is filled with darkness and hopelessness. Now the last part. Why is the future of these children painted with the fog? The future of these children is dark and uncertain, so the speaker says that it is painted with the fog. Right? I hope you have got an idea how to write these RTCs. They are 1 mark answers and hence you have to attempt it very, very carefully, precise and to the point. The next one. The stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease. His lesson from his desk at the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. Question number 1. Who is the unlucky heir? The boy with stunted growth and twisted bone is the unlucky heir. Alright. Now what has he inherited? He has inherited the gnarled disease of his father and as a result his growth remains stunted. Alright. Explain reciting a father's gnarled disease. An unnoted sweet young boy is sitting at the back of the dim class. I think I read the wrong question. The question here is the boy who's sitting at the back. Then the boy who is sweet and young, he's sitting at the back and he is dreaming of the squirrels playing games on trees. This is important, as I've told you. What is a tree room, if you remember? The last one is explain reciting a father's gnarled disease. It is the boy with stunted growth has inherited a disease from his father which makes him a living example of his father's poverty and suffering. So then I hope your RTC thing, you have got a little idea of how you do. Rest you will gain through practice. But remember, every word in this poem is very, very important. Students, with this I have come to the end of the poem. and I have tried to put in the theme, the summary, the paraphrasing in such a fashion that it is not a problem for you at all whenever you study through my videos. So whenever you have any issue or problem, feel free to contact me. And yes, the paraphrasing that I have given you will be a part of your notes. If you want to curtail it or shorten it, you are free to do it. But I think those paragraphs are sufficient. You don't have to go through anything other than that. Thank you.